Are violin and viola the same? If not, then what's the difference? Keep watching to find out. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher currently based in New Jersey. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years, and it's my goal to help you learn how to play the violin as easily and as joyfully as possible. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram where I post tons of tips and tutorials totally for free. It's at Suzuki Violin Teacher. So are viola and violin the same? No, they are not. They are very similar, but they do have some clear differences. The first and maybe the most obvious is that the viola is slightly bigger than the violin. Like violins, violas come in all shapes and sizes, but generally the bodies of the violas are bigger and wider than violin bodies, and they are also longer. I believe the longest viola that you can get is 17.5 or 18 inches, which is significantly larger than the violin. So in general, violas are bigger than violins. The second main difference is that the strings are different. So on the violin, our highest string is E string, and then we have A, and then D, and then G. On the viola, their highest string is the A string. So they have A, D, G, and then they have a low C string. So violas do not have a high E string, and violins do not have a low C string. So while they do share the A, D, and G strings, there is a difference in the range. So violin is a little bit higher with the E string, and viola is a little bit lower with the C string. Another big difference is that violas read a different clef. Their clef is called alto clef, and it looks like this. I personally find alto clef hard to read because the notes that are, say, line notes in treble clef are space notes in alto clef, and vice versa. So the notes that are space notes in treble clef, which is what violins read, are line notes in alto clef. So that really confuses me. At least in bass clef, we share the line notes and space notes. So in short, violas read in a different clef than violins. Now, in terms of like how you actually play the instrument, they are quite similar. I actually took a semester of viola lessons in college because it was required, not because I wanted to. And I also played a little bit of viola before that. And what I found the main difference was, in terms of technique, was tone production. Since violas are bigger and lower, they do require a little bit more arm weight to get a good tone. I also distinctly remember my viola professor telling me to play with flat hair. Apparently violas need to play with flat hair, like at least 90% of the time. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard. But in terms of how you play, like with the left hand, how you place your fingers down, how you shift and do vibrato, that's all the same. Bowing is generally the same. Tone production, like I mentioned, could be a little bit different, but you know, they are played relatively similarly. If you play the violin, you can pick up a viola, and vice versa. If you play the viola, you can pick up a violin. With that being said, there are a significant amount of violinists who do switch over to viola. And obviously everybody has, you know, their own reasons. Maybe they just like it better, but in my personal experience, viola is less common than violin. So if there are those who really want to play in this orchestra or play with this group or whatever, they might consider switching from violin to viola because we always need more viola players. So to sum up, the violin and viola are not the same instrument. Their key differences are their size. The viola is bigger. Their range, the viola is lower. The clef that they read. So violists read in alto clef and violinists read in treble clef. If you have any questions about the difference between violins and violas, definitely drop them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. And thank you for watching.